It's time for another edition of Wake Up the Echoes, presented by TireRack.com. I'm your host, Tony Simeone, and I am not in South Bend. We are in Las Vegas this week for the Players Era Tournament as Notre Dame men's basketball is on the road. So we've got a very special episode, and I can't wait to get into it because Isaiah Dunn is going to run the show today for this very special football episode. Jeremiyah Love is coming back, his return appearance to Wake Up the Echoes. We're going to make the case for him to win the Heisman Trophy. Let's be honest, he should win the Heisman Trophy at this point. As you can hear, my voice is depleted from the 70-point performance from Notre Dame this weekend. If you're watching, I mean, just an unbelievable game from Notre Dame. More points than they've scored in 92 years. It was just a dominant performance from start to finish, 21 points before the offense even took the field. So as you can tell, 10 touchdown calls, block punts, pick sixes. The voice is a little shaky. We're going to be fine, though, today when Notre Dame men's basketball takes on Kansas. So tons to cover on the show. Marcus Freeman will stop by. Jeremiyah Love will be there. And Isaiah Dunn, I'm going to talk to him in a second. Before I talk to Isaiah, though, and recap Senior Day with him, I want to remind everyone at home that Tire Rack loves tires. And since 1979, they've been helping drivers find the right tires. Tire Rack sells only the best brands backed by their own test results, tire ratings, and consumer reviews. Tires ship fast and free to you or one of 10,000 recommended installers. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be. All right, let's not waste any time. Let's recap Senior Day with Isaiah Dunn. Isaiah Dunn, here we go. I've been waiting a long time for this segment. I'm, of course, out here in Las Vegas, and this show is yours. I am excited for you. You got some great guests today. Jeremiyah Love is going to come by and talk. Coach Freeman is going to come by and talk, but I wanted to have a quick little pep talk with you before we get to the meat of the episode, because this past weekend, man, like that was unbelievable. My voice, as people can hear, is lacking because of the 10 touchdowns. That was unbelievable. Just first, let's start there. What was it like being on the field for the most points in like 92 years at Notre Dame?
It was surreal. I mean, you're in the game, right? And it's 21-0 in the first 2.5 minutes. It's crazy. And you see guys like Stroman, and I mean, all the guys started balling out, but Stroh to start off the game like he did. I mean, with the pick six and the punt block, and Luke Talich catching the punt block, and then Leonard Moore. It was a great start. I mean, we talked about starting fast the whole week on defense, and I don't think he could have started faster. All right, like I don't think there was one spot where I was like, oh yeah, you got to elevate there. It was a surreal experience. I know I talked to some of the students during the game, and they were tired doing push-ups. They had to start switching off from people. Like, we're doing too many push-ups. We're too tired.
Yeah, that's a ton.
It was insane.
Hey, let me ask you real quick, actually, about Jalen Stroman, because that was so cool, I thought, with Tay being out. That was obviously an issue. And just to see a guy respond like that was so cool to me, because it'd be easy for that guy to not be locked in, ready to go. And he wasn't just locked in. Like, that was maybe the best. Ryan Harris on our broadcast said that might be the best 5 minutes to start a game for a defensive player ever. Like, what was that like to be obviously on that side of the ball, see someone in the DB room make a play, all those plays?
I mean, it makes you so happy inside, because you know how hard he works behind the scenes. And there's a lot of guys like that aren't necessarily getting the shine on them yet, but they will when their opportunity comes. But when Stroman's opportunity came, it's part about being a Notre Dame man. It's like it comes with the players. Even though if your spotlight's not on you, you're still working as hard as you can. And that team is filled with players like that. But I'm so happy Stroman was able to showcase that, especially on a day like senior night for him. I know he had a lot of family out here. And that's the player he is. It's awesome to see that really pay off, you know?
Okay, so let's talk about the uniqueness of Senior Day. Like, I'm out there getting ready for the broadcast. Ryan Harris is telling me about how he was sobbing, his mom was sobbing on his Senior Day. Just what's the experience like for you when you're running out, everyone's there? It's weird because the game's going to start in like 10 minutes. You guys got to be locked in, ready to go, but they take this break for everyone to kind of just soak it in. Just what was that all like?
Yeah, and Coach Freeman warned us. He was talking about how it's going to be very emotional at first. And he's like, that's good. It should be. Like he said, soak it all in. He didn't want us to rush over it. He said, soak in senior night. But when that Notre Dame song starts playing, that's when we lock back in. So it was kind of like that trigger of when to lock back in. But before that, running out to that field, seeing Coach Freeman shake his hand, hugging him, telling him I love him, it meant the world to me. And I know it meant the world to a lot of players. And then right after that, running out to your parents. I saw my mom over there with her Notre Dame pom-poms and her button with my face on it. But like, it means so much to me because for my childhood self, like I've talked about in old podcasts, like this was my dream school, and to be able to run out to that field and hear the Notre Dame cheers, it's something I'm just so blessed to be a part of.
Did you properly take it in? Because I ask people all the time, and I feel bad for you guys. Like last year in the title run, a lot of people saying, if he's locked in, tunnel vision. But like, did you do what you're supposed to do when you run out? I heard you talk about, like, did you give mom and dad a hug? Did you look around and say, hey,
Yeah,
like I did this? Because so many people wanted to do it, could have tried to do it. And, it's a lifelong dream for a lot of people that they don't realize. And you realized it. Like, did you take that moment and really appreciate it before the game started?
I definitely did. And I give Coach Freeman props for that because it was right before we ran out. He was telling us to soak it in. And so before I'm running out there, I'm praying. I just close my eyes and I pray. And I'm just like, thank you, God. Thank you, God, for this moment. And then I'm running out there, and I did take a look around, and I was sitting there with my mom, and I was telling her, how cool is it to be on the field? Because that was her first time, like, being on the field.
Really?
And seeing, like, the fans. She's like, it's so much different. I'm like, I know. It's crazy when you're on the field. So, yeah, we both, I think we both soaked it in, being my mom. It was a great experience.
Oh, that's incredible. Just to, like, even just thinking about it, I have chills just thinking about you getting to do that. Is there, and maybe you guys will play another home game. We hope you guys will play another home game.
I know, fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. But, if that's your last time going out, or like, what has it been like to get to run out of that tunnel? I ask people all the time, and it just seems like the most incredible thing. I think it was, I don't know if it was Sam Bush. He's a former offensive lineman, or maybe it was actually, no, I think it was Mike Golick Jr. When I talked to him on this show 2 years ago, he said more than anything at Notre Dame, the thing he'll miss the most is running out of the tunnel, like that 8 seconds. Because it's unlike, you can't replicate it. He's been back, he's been on the field. It's not the same. Just what does that feel like?
I don't even know how to describe it. I mean, you're with your brothers. You're starting to get fired up. You see Coach Freeman fired up in the screen, and then you just see the fans get louder and louder. And then right when we run out, you see the lighting go, and then all the fans start cheering. I mean, it's insane. And then you go out and pray. Everything about it's so lovable. I mean, it's just something that you can't replicate. So I understood why he said it, because I don't know how you can ever replicate something like that. It's something that I don't even have words to describe it. But
the thing that's seared in my head is night games too, with all the pyro, and you can see all the cool stuff, and it's just like, oh my gosh, it's just unlike anything in the world.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe you can ask Coach Freeman when he gets here and you talk with him and Jay Love. Does anybody know, and maybe he can't share it, what he says when he's out at the front of the line, hyping everybody up? Because I try to read the lips sometimes, and sometimes he plays it cool. He picks his spots, but sometimes, man, I want to know what he's saying. He is in usually offensive line out there, and he is in their face, certainly trying to inspire those guys before the game.
I think the safest answer, he's very motivating. I think that's the way I can put it. He's great at motivating the players, and I think he does an outstanding job of that. And that's basically that's where I'm going to leave it. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. That seems, what stays in the tunnel will remain in the tunnel. Let's talk about this experience. I mean, I've had a blast having you on the show these last 2 years. I saw you on ESPN this summer. This is, I know, something that's you're passionate about. Doesn't have to be Wake Up the Echoes in particular, although you can talk about it if you like, but what's just this kind of media journey been like for you? And I guess, whenever the next steps for you in media come, what are you hoping to do, buddy?
Mm-hmm. Well, no, I'm definitely going to talk about Wake Up the Echoes, because you guys have been a huge part of this journey. Like going into interviews with, whether it was ESPN or anything I go so forth, you guys are like one of the first people I'm going to bring up, because you guys have given me an opportunity to be able to host and talk to my players. And my whole goal were that the fans see these players beyond the helmet, that they see these players as human beings, and you guys have given me a platform to absolutely do that. And I am going to be forever grateful for you guys bringing me on and being able to host this last 2 years. But in the journey itself, it's been something that I've fallen in love with, just as much as I love football at this point. Like, this is something I truly am so passionate about, and I've enjoyed this experience. Have I been nervous going into a lot of these? Absolutely. I mean, those nervousnesses have always came in, and I've hosted the award ceremony last year, but you guys kind of gave me the confidence to go up there and being able to host a big award ceremony like that. So this in general has given me so much confidence going forward. So again, it's been a great experience.
That's great to hear. I think what I've found, I go back to like 10, 15 years ago. If you put a camera in front of my face, super nervous. And you just have to get through it. And some people get through it faster than others. I think I actually probably took longer than most to get through kind of the nerves. But the nerves mean you're alive, right? It's like if you're playing a football game, it's the same way. You don't want to go out there and not be nervous. It means you're not doing something that you feel has pressure or has high stakes. So
For sure.
you don't want the nerves to ever go away entirely. As I reflect on the show with you, I'll tell you this. My favorite part about having you the last 2 years, because we didn't have you 3 years ago when we were first doing it on the couch, is that you're able to get just great content. I don't want to call content, but great stories, great nuggets out of the players because you know them in a way that I never will, right? And it made me think about the bond that the football team has. And I see with all the sports teams on campus. It's another thing I'm sure that whenever your time is done playing football, you'll miss that bond. But what's been something you've learned or a moment on the show that sticks out? Like you've had a lot of animal talk. I've learned a ton about different people on the team that I never would have learned had you not been there. So I'm trying to think of, is there something you learned about a teammate in the course of the show that was like, oh, I didn't know that. Like I knew him like this, but now I know him even better because I've learned a ton about these guys and some of their upbringing and what they've gone through has been so enlightening for me. But I'm wondering what you've been maybe surprised by or what you've learned.
I think maybe not like one or two things. I think it's more so the personalities of some of the guys that I knew beforehand, but even coming into here, they really expressed more of it. Like Drake with the Scorpion came out of nowhere. No idea that was going to come out. And that was a part of him I never really seen with Drake. And then James Rundell with the animals. I mean, he had a blast talking about that. I think seeing the enjoyment they have of talking about other things. They love football. We all love football. That's obvious. But talking about things that are just outside of it and the personalities that we get with these players was a really fun experience. Like I had a blast learning all these different stories about the guys. With the Kanga Cheetah, with J Love, how he felt.
He's coming back.
We had so much fun. I mean, the memories that I made on here, it's been a great time. And I think that's what I'm going to keep and stick around forever.
Yeah, it's been super fun. Okay, two things I thought of before we take our first break and bring in J Love. The first one is about J Love. Okay, let's gas him up a little bit before he gets here because he's probably going to be on this. Who knows what he's going to say? Yeah. Like, come on, he's got to get it now, doesn't he? I think he's got to be out. He's certainly got to be in New York, and the trophy. I'm now starting to really think. Like, I try to keep it pretty unbiased when I evaluate these things. I'm starting to lose a little bit of that unbiased nature. I'm starting to feel pretty hungry on his behalf. Got to get him the Heisman. I think he's the best player in the country. It's not even close. Like you just ask people. Yeah, and you're a big time ball knower. Like you've been really schooling me on quarterback playing the NFL for years now. Like you just know it when you see it, right? And when you see Jeremiyah Love, you know he's the best player. And I just think it's as simple as that at this point. He's got enough. The numbers are good enough. Look at the highlight reel. No one else is doing what he's doing. So I've done my part. Why don't you do your part to just explain to the people why he's the Heisman winner?
I mean, when my grandma calls me and she doesn't know a lot about football, and she tells me when that guy number 4 has the ball, he just looks better. I think there's something to be said. Yeah, I mean, she doesn't know a lot about football, and she's like, when he has the ball in his hands, he looks better than some of these NFL guys. And I'm like, you know what, Grandma? You're not wrong. Like he's moving out of
hashtag Grandma knows.
That's a Grandma knows ball. Hashtag Grandma knows ball. And I just think exactly what you said, the eye test doesn't lie. You watch J Love, he doesn't get the carries as much as the other running backs. Shout out to Jarian Price, who deserves those carries too, because he's an outstanding running back. But that gives him even more credit. He's putting up these stats that are insane. I mean, 8 carries with 170 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's basically scoring a touchdown on half the time you get the ball. I mean, shout out he's an insane athlete. He's super humble. I know he's going to be humble when he gets here, but he absolutely deserves it. He's getting my vote immediately, unbiasedly and biasedly, either way.
We're going to take a break and we're going to come back with J Love.
And we're back with Jeremiyah Love. We're here with Tell Me a Story segment presented by Yeti. Do you want a Dasani?
A Dasani, please.
Hey, did you offer him the bite?
Yeah, I'll throw you one. I would throw you one.
I could use a Topo Chico. Yeah. Give me those bubbles.
Yeah. So we're going to do Tell Me a Story segment today with J Love, and he's going to talk about his first time throwing up the heart. Take it away, J Love.
All right, so I think it was Stanford game. I think it was like at least like third quarter, fourth quarter. I didn't score a touchdown at the time, and I was kind of getting worried because like I was on like a touchdown streak throughout the season so far, and I was getting to the point where like it was looking like I wasn't scoring a touchdown. But then Brock caught a little mid zone play, broke out towards the sideline. I think it was like this clip of this guy trying to chase me. And I have like throwing my hand up, and like I'm not really throwing my hand. I'm just trying to keep my balance. But I'm running down the sideline, outrun him, and then I score. And just a thought comes to my mind of throwing up the heart or doing something to like create my own celebration. Heart was a perfect way to do it. Last name's Love.
Yeah.
And then the people just fell in love with it ever since.
So it wasn't planned?
No, it wasn't really planned. It just came in the spur of the moment, to be honest. It was just like, why not just throw up a heart, see what people think of it.
And how do you feel now looking at all these fans every time you score? I mean, it's become a trend.
I love it. I love, people throwing up the heart. It makes me feel like people are just spreading love, which is I feel like it's my calling to do throughout, football. I feel like I was given a gift to inspire people through my play. And, I feel like me, trying to spread love, throwing up the heart is allowing people to connect the game more, connect each other more, and just, just spread love, really.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Hey, I got to jump in here. So, J Love, what was the first game you hit the new celebration, though, the Heisman? Was that BC?
That was BC, yeah.
Okay, so how do you decide now? Are you able to hit them both? Can we do one of these next time? Like, how do we decide which one we're going with?
I don't know. Maybe this last game, maybe I'll hit the heart and the Heisman pose at the same time. With it being the last game of the regular season, why not throw out something like that? But that's a good idea, actually, so I'm probably going to do that.
Look at that. This is what we do on Wake Up the Echoes. We come up with new ideas. Now I'm going to be really excited going into that Stanford game. And again, perfect, right? It comes back around. It's against Stanford, where it all started. So that's a great idea. All right.
Speaking of this post, while you were getting your interview after the game, when it was 77, me and Leonard tried to run over while you were getting talked to and try to hit her or put the camera down. We got so mad. We were trying to get it in the background. But yeah, no, we're a big fan. You deserve it, bro. We're praying.
Hey, in all seriousness, J-Lo, I get the sense, Jeremiah and just talking to him the last 2 years, like very humble guy, right? And the Heisman it's not a contest in humility, right? Like everyone's now pushing for him, for other people. Just, I want to know from your standpoint, like what's it been like that now you're really in the conversation, maybe win the biggest trophy, I think, in all of sports? Like, has it been weird at times to have people talking about you that way and making it such an individual award? Because I know you're a team guy. It's always interesting when this comes around this time of year. Like, what's it been like for you?
For me, I haven't really been paying attention too much of the talk, but like when I do hear it, whenever people ask me about it, I try to accredit it to my team, because at the end of the day, I feel like everything that I've accomplished hasn't been of my own effort. I feel like that would be the biggest honor if I was to win the Heisman. I feel like that would be the biggest honor for my team in general, because that's an effort that we all put in, and I just so happen to be able to profit and take advantage of all the opportunities that my team is presenting me with. Everybody asks me about that. I credit to my team, because this is a team sport. Nothing's done by yourself. And shoot, if I go out there and win it, I go down to New York and I win it, it's the same thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make sure I shout out my team, and just show appreciation to everybody that helped me, get to that point.
I love that you said it, because this team loves you, man. Like, we're so proud, and we know how much more you can do. But there's been a lot of fun plays. We've watched you, and you're right. There's a credit to the blockers and the receivers that make this all happen. But do you have a favorite play of your ND career?
I would say my favorite play was probably last year against USC. I heard of a guy, and then after that,
I remember
the guy too.
No, I remember.
That was my favorite play. I feel like that was just a combination of everything, speed,
playing USC and
athleticism, and then it's also
USC.
That's just great.
Hey, I got a question. The spin move against Pitt. So, like, do you practice that?
All the time. I practice spin moves all the time in practice.
That's one, like, really looked like video game. So I just want to know how do you, so you just practice that, and then you saw, I'm going to pull up the spin right here, because I've never seen a spin move like that in my life.
yeah, I just practice it and practicing it, and it shows up in the game. You know, it's just muscle memory. So I want to actually try new things out in practice because you never know when it'll show up in the game. And when it does, the opportunity shows up in the game, like your body's ready for it, and it kind of everything happens, you know, unconsciously. I mean, like subconsciously or whatever you want to say. But your body just doing things, and that's what my body does because I just rep things over and over and over in practice.
Literally last week, there's a move he hasn't pulled out yet, but I know it's coming. I think he knows what I'm talking about. And it's a fake spin move. It's a stutter spin move, and he's running by me. He's like, "What if I hit that in the game?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, you got to pull that net."
I think it will work.
I think it's definitely
people would think I'm for the spin, but I just hit him with a half spin and just keep going. So
yeah, he practices.
If we hit the half spin, the love, and the Heisman all in one game, it's a wrap. I can't wait. Yeah. I can't wait.
And even the backflip celebrations are practiced. I remember his freshman year, we'd be on like a break period during practice, and you look over at J Love, he's getting some water. Next thing you know, you see him 10 feet in the air doing a backflip because he's just bored. So everything's practice. Yeah, everything.
We got to take our first break so we can come back with our subject matter segment. But I just want to say this, Jeremiah Love. I wish I was there with you guys right now. But, like, just soak this in, man. Like, everyone is having so much fun watching you play. And, like, the hype, it's so great. I can't wait to watch you next week. But just, like, you're bringing so much joy to Notre Dame fans. I want to make sure that's clear here that, like, everyone's pulling for you because they feel like they're invested in this. So, great job. You're just making everyone proud, and keep it up.
Yes, sir, I will.
All right, we'll take a break and come back with more.
And we're back. Subject matter expert, presented by the tire experts at TireRack.com. And now we have Jeremiah Love, and we're talking about this past weekend, so it's pretty recent, of his new comic book, Jeremonstar. He had it was at the bookstore, I believe. You had a signing?
Store on Friday, and then I had another signing yesterday at Dick's Sporting.
Oh, so you had two?
I had two, yeah.
How's that been? Can you walk us through that?
So the signing Friday was held at the bookstore. It was kind of like my the official release of like my comic. We have like two versions. We had our Kickstarter version, which was a version that people could donate to and help us throughout the project. And then we had the official release, which we decided to do a book signing with in the bookstore. Lots of people came. Like there were like it's a very long line of people.
I saw a video of the line. It was crazy.
It was crazy, and people came out and supported. Lots of kids, lots of adults, teens. Like there was lots of different kinds of people there. But it was a great experience. I'm glad everybody came out to support. Signed a bunch of autographs. Feel like made a lot of connections with some fans. That was Friday, and then yesterday, Sunday, went out to Dick's Sporting Goods and had another signing. Lots of people pulled up again. I heard like people on both days were kind of just camping outside, like until like some people arrived at 6 a.m. The signing doesn't start till like 11:45, 12. So like people just waiting so they could be like the first 100 to get it personalized and stuff like that. But yeah, both signing events were great, man. And people came out and showed a lot of love and really touched my heart because I feel like I'm sharing a piece of myself with the people and the fans. And it was great.
And I'm a big comic book guy. I don't know if you are, Tony, but I'm a huge comic book guy. And I know a lot goes into it. So I have a question more so of the creativity aspect when you were first creating it. What was the hardest part? Was it the art, the script, finding yourself in there, like with the characters? What were the challenging things that you came across with creating a comic book?
So me and my part in the book, I mean, literally all I did was just make sure that everything just looked right. I didn't do any writing. I didn't do any illustrations or anything like that. My dad assembled a great team of people that took care of all that stuff for me. But as far as my part, I would say the hardest thing was to make sure the visuals were right because I wanted to look a certain way. Because like growing up, I've loved comics, I've loved anime, and I know how like I want things to look. And I would say that was probably the hardest part, just making sure that my abilities, like my superpowers, were visualized in the right way, and stuff like that. Yeah, that was probably the hardest part for me. My dad and the rest of my team just took care of all of the other heavy lifting. So I guess you say my part was pretty easy.
Did anything change when you first started creating it to later on? What were some of the biggest changes?
Actually went through like a bunch of different artists. So we didn't start off with just one and roll with them the whole way. So the first edition, the artwork was way different than it is now. We went through at least 2 to 3 artists to get it to where it is now. So it went from looking like your very traditional superhero comic. It looked like that to how it looks now, which I think it's just a little bit different. Feel like the powers were visualized way different than they were in the beginning. In the beginning, my dad wanted me to turn into this big old bulldog monster Hulk. I don't know what it was, but that changed drastically to what it is now, and it's a very simple power up. My eyes will glow. You have a certain aura around yourself, and I feel like that is way better than having your character turn into a big Hulk or something like that. But yeah, it's changed drastically over these past 5 years because it's taken a long time to bring it to fruition.
I'm not a comic book guy, but I read it, and it's incredible. It's I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that because it was so good. And it looks just like Jeremiyah Love, by the way. He looks just like you. So I was just blown away with the quality. Seriously, I saw it and I was just shocked at how good, and the story's great. I remember I read it when I got it on Friday, read it Friday night. I read it with my 1-year-old son. We were flipping through it, and he doesn't quite know what's going on, but it was cool. He liked the pictures, and it was super fun. So I can't co-sign it enough. I was just going to say, as not a comic book guy, read it, had a blast. So great job.
Thank you.
And then someone wanted to add on just for you in your message with your comic book. What is the overall message that you want the readers to know when they read your comic book?
So for me, I want the overall message, or once it's all said and done, once you've given it a read, once you've been able to just analyze the pages and stuff like that. Obviously this is the first edition. This is the first the book, and we plan to release many more. But as a starter, I hope that people will read it and get a sense of looking at my backstory and kind of seeing how growing up I had I wasn't always the winner. We were down big, I think, in the first couple pages of the book. You'll find out that we were down in our game I think it was 30 something to zip or something like that. So want people to take away from that to never give up. Always play your hardest. Always believe in yourself, believe in your team, and really just be you and know who you are. And by the end of the series, I hope that I can instill some core values into people of never giving up, always being yourself, giving the glory to your teammates. Don't take all the glory for yourself. And yeah, I always preach to just people in general to just have fun as well. So have fun reading it, and try to put that into your own life. Have fun, what you're doing.
There's so much power in what you said with I wasn't always the winner, right? Because they see you now at Notre Dame and you've been balling, rightfully so. But you were an underdog at some point, right? And not everyone always sees that when the camera's not on you. And that's a lot of things people can relate to.
Yeah.
And I think that's really powerful with your comic book. And people should definitely give it a read.
Yes, sir.
But, yeah.
Get the book. It's worth it.
Get the book. I think that's the perfect way to segue. And we're back to Wake Up the Echoes, presented by TireRack.com. It's a really exciting episode with Jeremiyah Love and Coach Freeman.
Yes, sir.
I'm hosting it. I'm hijacking the joint today. I'm pretty excited.
You might make this a permanent. You know what I mean? Don't tell Tony.
Tony's great. Now, someone wanted to start with is a question for both of you. J Love, you answer first. Your question is, what have you learned, a greatest lesson that you've learned from Coach Freeman so far?
Oh, man.
And then, Coach Free, for you, what I've noticed in the team meetings, I've learned so much from you, gained a lot of wisdom. And I think you have a really special gift of gaining lessons from whoever you talk to. So is that intentional, or is that something that you've always been able to do since you were younger?
Me first.
J Love, go.
Okay. I would say the biggest lesson that I've learned from Coach Free was kind of a culmination of everything he said. I would say really the truth lies in the work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're not going to get anything handed to you by any means. You got to go out there and work for everything that you want to get or think you deserve. And that's been my mindset ever since I've come to Notre Dame, and Coach Freeman has solidified that mindset in me throughout all this time. I've been able to, hear him speak and just learn from him. The truth lies in the work. That's the truest thing ever, I feel like, in life, really, with football, academics, or just, in life in general.
For sure.
I love that. Yeah, it's good. That's a good one. It's a great reminder. I think it's important for me. You always, I want to seek wisdom, right? And there has to be a place of humility to understand you don't have all the answers. And that's important for me is I know I don't have all the answers, and there's a lot of wisdom that other people have. And so I seek it. I'm intentional about it. I really spend time in solitude and think on the things that I hear. I often tell you guys in team meetings that I'll watch a video or hear somebody speak, I'll take notes, and then I got to go back to my office and really digest it and see what does it mean to me. And I think that's just a mindset of the work, right? If you really want to elevate and you want to improve at whatever you're doing, you have to put in the work. And there's answers out there for you if you seek them.
Funny you said that, because I remember last year when we were in the playoffs, heading to the national championship, you were talking about in the team meeting how you asked everyone in the room who has been in this position before. Raise your hand if you've been in this position. And a lot of me, myself, and a lot of the other players took that and saw how humble you were in that experience. And that makes us want to follow you, right? Like that, those are things that you do that makes players like us, like, love you as our head coach. And it definitely, it pays off in the end.
Appreciate it.
But
No, I don't like compliments.
I know you don't like compliments, but it's just the truth. We got to do it. But we'll move on to J Love. Watching J Love, I mean, since he was a freshman, the growth you've seen. I mean, you knew he was going to score a lot of touchdowns. I remember his first touchdown when he didn't hand the ball to the ref. You were like, "Hey, J Love, you're going to be scoring a lot of touchdowns for us." How has that experience been for you?
Oh, that's great. It happened. You brought up a great point. Like when he first scored a touchdown in the number 12.
Yeah,
the ball was on the ground. He runs to the sidelines, and I grabbed him and I said, "Hey, you're gonna be in that end zone a lot in your career. Get used to handing that ball to the official." I thought about Aeneas the other day when he scored, and what he do with the ball. He went looking for the official, and I'm like, because I had the same conversation with Aeneas, and it's just the growth that I've seen in Jeremiyah from this talented high school football player, right, to a talented freshman that wore number 12 and made some really, really great plays as a freshman. But what you see him do now is he's this complete running back. He is what he does in the pass protection game, right? The way he blocks, the way I love every time we run, we call it Canton, but I love every time we run a QB counter and watch J Love go demolish that guy that he has to block. Like that's one of my favorite things to watch. But that's what I love the most about him, and it all goes back to the way he prepares, right? His preparation has elevated, which has really determined his performance. And I mean, he can do it in the run game, the pass game, and probably the other thing that's overlooked is the unselfishness. Right. That's the thing that like nobody really talks about. And we talk about a lot with Jadarian, but J Love could demand to be on the field at every play. He can arguably should be on the field every play, but he's a team first guy. All these individual accolades, the success he's had, he still chooses team before self. And if Jeremiyah Love can do that, and we get all of our players to do that, watch what happens to this program.
Yeah, and I know you don't like compliments, but J Love, it's time for you to talk about what it's like playing for Coach Free. How is it for you?
For me, I would just say it's a big honor to be able to be coached by somebody of Coach Free's, just him as a whole. Like, he's a great coach, great person in general, great husband. It's just a great honor to be coached by him. I really look up to him. I mean, I don't really say it a lot, or I don't really give a lot of. I mean, I don't really say it a lot, but like I got a lot of respect for Coach Freeman and everything that he does for this program. I feel like he's the embodiment of unselfishness.
Right.
You know, Coach Free is always sacrificing at every step of his day. And, you know, I just respect that a lot. And I wouldn't rather be any place other than Notre Dame or be coached by anybody other than, you know, Coach Free. I feel like he's played a very big part into my development as a man and as a, you know, a football player and as a student and as just a person in general. And I don't feel like I would be really who I am today without his, you know, him putting all that he can into all the players and also into myself.
Absolutely. And one of the things you tell us all the time is being where your feet are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a moment that you can realize where we are in the moment, like J Love, where you are in your career, and Coach Freeman, where you are. What would Marcus Freeman, the player, say to Marcus Freeman, the coach, today if he's able to see him? And then J Love, what would J Love, the player, when you were a little kid, say to J Love now?
Mm-hmm. Marcus Freeman, the player, didn't have the maturity that Marcus Freeman, the coach, does. You know, I was always willing to work. I mean, I loved to work. I was raised that way by my father and my mother. But, you know, I just didn't understand. Probably one of the greatest lessons that I know now is the greatest things in life take time, right? It takes time, and you just work. And you know, I probably, as a young person at times when things didn't go my way, it could have easily blamed other people, right? Well, the coach didn't do this, or this didn't happen because of this. But, you know, I wish if I could go back, I would tell Marcus Freeman, the player, be willing to be pushed as hard as you possibly can and embrace it and enjoy it. Enjoy the locker room. Enjoy the journey, because it goes fast. Yeah. I mean, I really do at times feel like yesterday I was playing football like you guys. And it's just crazy how fast time goes. But I'm grateful for that football journey, you know, and the lessons it taught me. And you know, it was pretty fun.
Mm-hmm. You'd be proud of yourself too. Yeah, I know you don't want to say it.
I feel like my younger self would probably say to me now, just keep having fun. Wasn't very mature as a kid or just in high school in general. I mean, I was all about going out there and just having fun. So it's probably what my younger self would say to me now. If I was to say something to my younger self, I would probably say the same thing. Just have fun and try to keep everything as light as possible, because there you just, you know, just keep climbing the ranks of football and you get to where I am now. I would say it's more serious than it was when you were a kid or when you were in high school. It's a little bit more seriousness to it, a little bit more business, you know, added to everything. So just have fun and just try to make everything as light as possible and enjoy the people that you're around, because you know, I don't get to see my friends, like my brothers from high school, very often, and I miss those experiences that I had with them. So just have fun, keep things light, and just be you.
I'm gonna text him that as he continues to rise. And years from now, hey, keep having fun, man. That's important.
No, I mean, he does have fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He is.
Yeah.
Well, it's fun watching him. I think a question to end off here, I don't want to keep you guys too long, is, has your idea of success changed since when you were younger, and how has it been defined now as you're getting older?
Success, right? That's, you know, I think your personal expectations or definitions of success are different than outsiders. And that's what as I think of what Jay Love just said, we often have to remind ourselves is that you do have fun when you're not worried about the expectations of outsiders. You just have to give your all to what you're doing, right? And at some point we'll look back, right? I'll look back at my coaching career and say, you know, maybe in my own eyes, was it a success? I always view it as success when I talk to former players or current players, and you know, you hear some of those things that both you guys just mentioned about being a great father and husband and an example. Like that's what matters more than anything else, is that every one of our players feels valued. Yeah, right. And the role doesn't determine the value, but that's more important than wins and losses and championships is making sure, for me, in my position, that you all feel valued. You're better football players and better people because of the time we spent together. That's the ultimate definition of success for me.
For me, I would say, Coach Free touched on it. Got a lot of personal things, and a lot of times I feel like as humans we listen to what everybody else has to say, and we signify or make way of whatever, or just make success whatever people say. But to me, I would say success for me is just give an example. I love to practice moves in practice. I love to try out new things. Success for me is when an opportunity shows up in the game and I'm able to execute a move that I've been practicing for so long. Those are just little moments of success for me because those are things that I'm just working on constantly, very consistently, every single opportunity that I have, and just going out there and executing that's just success for me. And I feel like that's just life in general. You're working at something every single day, no matter what it may be. If you have an opportunity to do what you've been training to do for so long, that's success to me.
That's not hard work pay off. That's funny. Hearing you say that, it makes me think, because I spend a lot of time with the defensive scouts, and I'll watch him in those run plays, like slow down and try to do some spin move, his jump cut. And just hearing you say that, like, I can see you being intentional about those things in practice. It's pretty cool because some people just do their job, right? Go through the motion. Just, hey, I'm going to practice this position and do whatever I'm supposed to do. But you can see him being intentional about trying different moves. Like, I don't know if there's maybe some D lineman and pass rush moves, stuff like that. But, I mean, it's pretty cool to think about how intentional you are. Like, that's growth.
Yeah.
You didn't do that stuff as freshman. Like in your third year now, you're intentional about really trying different things in practice that are ultimately going to help you in the game. So that's good, man. You're teaching me a lot of things, man. That's good.
We talked about this in the last segment, though. Last week in the scouts, he was running, and I was going up to, make a hit. You know me. And he does a fake spin move. He went, got me. Oh, my gosh. J-Lo comes running back. He's like, I'm going to try that in the game.
Have you done it in the game yet?
Uh-uh.
You try to say that I was just staying away from me?
Now, protecting our guys. It's team war. We're protecting our guys. No, but I appreciate both of you guys coming on. J-Love, it's always a pleasure having you, Coach Freeman. It was awesome being on here with you.
Doing a great job, man.
Appreciate the
Proud of
opportunity.
you, man.
Okay, thanks again to Coach Freeman, Jeremiah Love, and Isaiah Dunn for holding it down back in South Bend while I'm on the road with men's basketball. Before we go, it is time for our Ask the Host segment, which has been so fun this year. Keep the questions coming. I did have a question earlier this year, by the way, about what I do to preserve and protect my voice. I need to go back now and do an entirely new regimen after the 70 points the other day because the voice is struggling. But again, we'll figure it out and we'll get it settled for Stanford next week. But in the meantime, here's the question. This week, it comes from Alexa W. in Wildwood, Missouri. So love that. Thank you, Alexa. I think it's our first question of the year out of the state of Missouri. So that's awesome. Here's an interesting question, and it's a good one. What is the single biggest misconception most people have about covering college athletics? And how has working at Notre Dame challenged or confirmed it? So good question. I think that the biggest misconception people have, let's say, about college athletics, maybe in this era, is that it's all about the money and it's just a bunch of people that are trying to make as much money as possible. And listen, there's been a lot of money injected into college athletics as of late. But I think the really refreshing thing about being at Notre Dame, and Isaiah and I talked about it a little bit on this show, is just getting to know all the different athletes at Notre Dame. It's incredibly revealing as to how determined these student athletes are to be more than just athletes when they're done playing sports. I don't think we've talked about money once on this show, and it's because they're very dedicated to their studies. I think about all kinds of different football players, soccer players, fencers we've had on the show throughout the years. And what the Notre Dame student athlete wants to do beyond athletics is usually extremely admirable and something that I think I wish I could go back and focus more on as a former student myself. So that's what I've been blown away with mostly, getting to know a lot of student athletes and coaches. I think also there's a misconception amongst maybe college coaches that their priorities are very singular. It's all about them and their careers. And that couldn't be further from the truth. I think Coach Freeman's a great example of that in talking with him. The way he cares for every individual on his staff and on his roster is something that is authentic. And it's been so clear in the now, 4 years that I've hosted a show with him. So that's been the thing that's been really nice to see behind the scenes. What you see is what you get with guys like Coach Freeman or the other coaches around campus. And I think there's, people that don't get a chance to see it as often as I do. There's maybe a way they could be cynical of the whole operation sometimes, but it's so, just from my standpoint, I'm lucky to get to talk to these players and coaches and kind of learn more about what drives them on the field and beyond. It's really neat. So if there's a misconception out there, that's it. And that's what I've been really happy to see at Notre Dame kind of get blown away in my time. All right, that's going to do it for us this week on Wake Up the Echoes, presented by TireRack.com. Thanks again to everyone for tuning in. Isaiah Dunn, awesome job. Jay Love, give him the Heisman, and Coach Freeman, always great hearing from him throughout the week. We'll talk to you next time on Wake Up the Echoes, presented by TireRack.com.